my name is Barbara Orticelli, and I'm a student at Liberty University. This is my interpersonal communication project, HSCO 508. Dr. Burley Allen states, listening involves a more sophisticated mental process than hearing. Listening has to be included in that hearing. My effective listening ability enhances my self-awareness, which teaches me to enlarge the conversation. Knowing what listening entails gives me insight on the EMC equation. Identifying my need plus my intentional resourcing equals enlarging my conversation without hesitation. My master goal is to be in a position to help those in need, which include my fellow military veterans and my local international church families and ministries. Hebrews 13:16 states, "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." And you say, Barbara, what does that have to do with the overall listening and communication process? I will tell you. By having the ability to listen, communicate, and connect in all of my future relationships. Dr. Stewart mentions two of the most important words that we can use in communication. They are and the word next. I am not alone. It is a collaborative effort. How well can I get it? My verbal and my nonverbal communication. And the word next involves my 3 C's. Certainly, closure, and control. No one will know what happens next in our relationships. And do not engage in fault finding and blaming. Self-awareness is truly the key. My background and behavior blend, which influence my conversation, are positive and negatives. My positives include, I am comfortable leading a group, which includes my military background. I am extremely focused, and I can focus on more than one task at a time. I am a versatile leader, and I'm a good peacemaker, and I'm not afraid to take on responsibilities, and I relate well with groups and individuals. My negatives include, I struggle with my identity even at an early age. I am too soft and sensitive at times. I withdraw and hold back from being more involved. And I need more empathy and compassion for others. And I need more of a balance. This is expected of me. Knowing how my background had an abusive element from my father's and the school bullying as a teen never ever gave me a sense of who I was or who I am. And my military Army experience gave me a sense of belonging and confidence to lead others. Confidence to speak to others with no intimidation factors outwardly. However, I always had the fear within that no one else is allowed to see. I am decisive, determined, impressing, inspiring, submissive, and sweet. I am difficult to read, driven to succeed, and I accomplish the tasks that are given to me. This is me. I am dynamic and determined. I am not picky or negative. I am optimistic. I am more active and task-oriented. I cannot allow my feelings to get in the way of my interpersonal communication process with others because of my history or my past. Defining the barriers in my interpersonal context includes fear. Sometimes fear of possible outcome blocks a talker's decision making. Fear will cause me to have a self-defeating behavior. Fear keeps me from my purpose and delays my opportunity to open up and trust others who possibly need my help. And here are some additional barriers. Lack of information. When a speaker gives limited information, I tend to interject and add to the conversation. Or I will turn off the speaker, what the speaker is saying, which is defined as biased listening. Whether the fault is poor listening or poor communication on the part of the speaker is unimportant. Dealing with fear as a barrier to my interpersonal communication process. Isaiah 41:10 states, "Fear not, there is nothing to fear, for I am with you. Do not look around in terror or be dismayed, for I am your God." There are some things that I can use to help me overcome my fear, which is my prayer life, my patience, balance of talking and listening, leaning on my Christ for more development, and my hope. Here are some examples of noise pollution. External, loud traffic noise, unclear language, talker is speaking too quickly and too loud, multiple conversations, and doing too many things at one time. And some solutions to those are: concentrate on what the speaker is trying to say and relate to you. Focus on one conversation that interests you. Do not use biased listening. Effective listening involves tuning our listening to the one trying to convey a conversation with you. Noise pollution could affect our health and our behavior. And here are some internal psychological noise pollution: biased listening, emotional listening, lack of concentration, fatigue, and selective hearing, which is not listening. And the solutions to these are listening with an open mind, keep feelings and emotions to a minimum, and focus. Get plenty of rest, good health hygiene, and listening, and just do not hear. What are some of my action plans? What makes an individual a good listener? Goodwill, a willingness to take the time, the ability to focus and avoid distraction, some concern to understand a working memory. Here are some of my personal communication goals, my own personal reality. Be patient within the conversation. Take the time to really listening. Interrupt when needed. Continue to show empathy. Know myself, which is my self-awareness. Know my limitations. And I must be Christ-like. What would Jesus do in this situation? Develop a personal relationship with others. Keep fear at a distance, and I need to be open-minded. Knowing who I am in Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:17 states, "Therefore, is any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things passed away. Behold, all things are become new." The taking action methods. After reviewing my goals, I can now say I have a newfound respect and perspective in my listening ability. Having the ability to see my shortcomings, I can now begin the process of learning to become a better listener and develop my overall interpersonal communication. And my final thoughts are, who I was is not who I am and does not define who I am within my listening ability. Treat others how they want to be treated and not how you think they should be treated, so you can develop and enlarge the conversation. Thank you, and that is my conclusion. Have a nice, blessed day.